This is scary. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is kind of scary. Oftentimes, when we are talking about people who enjoy a nice rainbow of fruity pebbles every morning, there's very little consequences to their actions. Now, sure, they have some effect on society, but it doesn't affect us personally. When the wicked wig of the woke, Joy Reid, goes on a rant about mythical racism, it doesn't have negative consequences on your day to day life. I share it with you guys here on the channel. We all have a good laugh about it, stare in astonishment at the wig's ability to never move. Then we move on with our lives. The last 4 years, as Stacey Abrams performed her comedy tour across America, pretending to be the governor of Georgia, that had no effect on the people of Georgia. They went about their lives as Stacey Abrams toured every major city in the country, trying to find an orthodontist to fix the Grand Canyon in her facial orifice. There are certain areas of society where it's extremely dangerous for shitfucks to take control. Public schools. We don't need to have non-binary Nate reading nap time stories to 6-year-olds. Gather around, future birthing persons. Let Nate tell you the exciting story of how his parents figured out how to potty train a genderless child. We need shitfucks removed from all levels of government, state level, federal level, local level. You don't need me to explain why. You guys are smart. New Orleans. New Orleans now has private citizens answering routine 911 calls. Why? They don't have the manpower on the police force to handle those minor things like burglary, assault, carjackings. Our police only handle real serious problems like hate crimes involving mythical racism. LaToya Cantrell, the so-called mayor of New Orleans, her plan to defund the police is working well. Someone told me the other day New Orleans has once again been given the esteemed honor of being the crime and murder capital of America. Oh, how nice. Moving on, the military. God knows, God only knows. We don't need shitfucks infiltrating our military. These people believe guns are only to be used for purposes of insertion. Why would I want to shoot the enemy when we could settle this peacefully by having him pound my brown? Unfortunately, all of these institutions I just mentioned, they have all been infected by the woke fungus. All of these, in one way or another, can have an impact on your life. But you got to understand, these people want control from cradle to grave. They want you completely reliant on them. They want you having no way to protect yourself. They want you despondent because your child has been indoctrinated at school and turned against you. They want you begging them, the instigators of all these problems, they want you begging them for the solution. What better way to implement total control over the population than by infiltrating the healthcare system? Dr. Robert Englander is the Associate Dean for undergrad students in the medical program at the University of Minnesota. Even though he's a qualified doctor, I struggle to call this male birthing person a doctor, just like I struggle to call Anthony Fauci a doctor. Both of these men are promoting evil. Hell, both of them are reptiles. We have the Fauci lizard and the English snake. All students entering the medical profession, they are required to take the Hippocratic Oath. One of the more famous lines in the oath is first, do no harm. Now, for students attending the University of Minnesota, they have an addition to that oath, a different oath. You know how I've told you guys before that the woke movement is a form of faith? I know we make fun of woke United Methodists, but it's a real thing. Now, I usually don't play clips this long, but I wanted to show you guys this in its entirety. On average, it costs between $30,000 and $40,000 a year to send your child to the University of Minnesota medical program. Let me give you a brief glimpse into what they're learning, because they ain't learning how to take your temperature. They're not learning how to draw blood. They're not learning how to recognize symptoms of pneumonia or lung disease. Now, they could be learning all those things, but they're also learning something else. We have more important things to teach these young minds, like how to properly remove a stuck cucumber, how to diagnose mythical racism, how to properly treat patients with mythical misogyny, how to use the banana in a round of the butt bongo. We used to teach young people the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Check out the woke Pledge of Allegiance. Roll the film.
With gratitude, we, the students of the University of Minnesota Twin Cities Medical School class of 2026, stand here today among our friends, families, peers, mentors, and communities who have supported us in reaching this milestone. Our institution is located on Dakota land. Today, many Indigenous people throughout the state, including Dakota and Ojibwe, call the Twin Cities home. We also recognize this acknowledgement is not enough. We commit to uprooting the legacy and perpetuation of structural violence deeply embedded within the healthcare system. We recognize inequities built by past and present traumas rooted in white supremacy, colonialism, the gender binary, ableism, and all forms of oppression. As we enter this profession with opportunity for growth, we commit to promoting a culture of anti-racism, listening and amplifying voices for positive change. We pledge to honor all Indigenous ways of healing that have been historically marginalized by Western medicine. Knowing that health is intimately connected to our environment, we commit to healing our planet and communities. We vow to embrace our role as community members and strive to embody cultural humility. We promise to continue restoring trust in the medical system and fulfilling our responsibilities as educators and advocates. We commit to collaborating with social, political, and additional systems to advance health equity. We will learn from the scientific innovations made before us and pledge to advance and share this knowledge with peers and neighbors. We recognize the importance of being in community with and advocating for those we serve.
I consider myself fortunate to have been exposed to this information today. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, just a routine checkup on my blood pressure. I'll be sure to ask my doctor tomorrow if he recognizes his white supremacy. Are we really getting to the point where we're going to have to do background checks on our doctors just to make sure they haven't been infected with the fungus? Someone please tell me, what does white supremacy have to do with the practice of medicine? If a black person gets in a car accident, he's rushed to the emergency room. Do you think the first question on his mind to ask the doctor is, "Excuse me, doc, before you save my life, are you a white supremacist? While we're at it, what are your proper pronouns?" Me personally, I went by he, him pronouns before this accident removed my private appendage. Now I will identify as non-binary. Will you teach me how to use the restroom now that I'm gender void? Over the last couple of years, what is the one thing shit fucks have told us to do? Now, I know this is tough since they're constantly adding to the woke commandments, but with the Fauci spreading across America, what is the one thing shit fucks said that we had to do? Follow the science, follow the science, follow the science. Now, all of a sudden, it seems the narrative might be shifting. Now we're being told to honor all the indigenous ways of healing that has been marginalized in the past by the evil white man in Western culture. What? What the hell does that even mean? I mean, I had a little bit of an idea, but I had to look it up. What Robert Englander, who, by the way, Robbie, he likes to specialize in a certain area of medicine. He likes to call himself a rectomologist. Ever had a problem with roids? Call Robbie. All the bongo pounding got you stopped up, can't stand up? Call Robbie. Had a long, hard day looking for a nice way to relieve some of that stress? Call Robbie. He accepts bongos of all shapes and sizes. What this shitfuck is having these young kids pledge, they're basically pledging to possibly overlook modern medicine in favor of using indigenous methods. Now look, I'm no doctor. I am unfamiliar with the medical profession. I have no clue how it works, but how exactly is this supposed to work? When someone's in the operating room for surgery, are they going to use a hollowed out bird bone instead of a scalpel to open them up? If someone comes in for dehydration, are they going to perform a rain dance? If woke doctors diagnose someone with a lack of melanin, do they pray to the sun gods for a tan? If we had an honest media, this story would be headline news nationwide, but we don't have an honest media. We joke around a lot here on the channel, just like we're doing about this, but seriously, this is some serious shit. These are future doctors being indoctrinated, being taught to consider white supremacy when making decisions. Guess how many mainstream media outlets have picked up this story? Just take a wild guess. The Daily Mail was the first to report, then Outkick picked up the story, and something called the Post Millennial. Nothing from the New York Times, nothing from the Washington Post. How strange. They're pretending like this never happened. The University of Minnesota, they're doing their part to cover up this potential scandal. If you visit the university website and click on Dr. Robert Englander, site not found. We do not recognize any birthing person by that name. We've reached the point where they're pushing political ideology onto future doctors. I ask the same question I always ask when we talk about serious issues like this. What's next? What's next? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.